Oh, we're live. Hi, everyone. Welcome to SBR
We are.
Sports Picks. My name is Peter Loshak. His name is Jimmy the Bag. This is the Loshak and the Bag Show for Wednesday, June 13th. We do have an MLB game that's going off in about 10 minutes, Jimmy the Bag, so we definitely want to get to that. But yesterday, I don't know, Jimmy the Bag, the wins kept on coming for me in MLB. I had a lot of bad calls in the early games. I was looking at a losing day, but then, of course, the game that I quintupled up on, which was the Bartolo Colon day, 5 plays in that game. I quintupled up on it. All 5 of them hit, so I wound up coming up positive about 2 or 2.5 units on the day once again, and I'm now up about 42.5 units in MLB. Is anyone noticing this, or does anyone really care? Maybe they don't care, which would be good. I'm hoping they don't care because that means they might not care when I'm down units in other sports, but are you impressed by that, Jim?
I am very impressed by that. I also
had a winning day. Very nice.
Turnaround happened while you were gone. I think a real change happened, and I'm rolling, feeling good. But no, people are noticing.
Yeah.
How could they not?
Oh, easily they could not notice.
42.5 units?
Right.
How could they not?
I don't know. Yeah, but Jimmy the Bag, and I'm definitely getting a good vibe and good feeling for what you're doing. You're not jumping the gun on. I do still think there's a few mistakes that you are making. You don't mind if I point them out to you, right? The over in the KC game yesterday, that was just like, I understand there were 2 horrible pitchers going, but it's just 9.5 is such a high total with terrible lineups. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do know what you're saying. It didn't work.
Yeah, I mean, whenever in MLB you're doing a lot of that. You're weighing bad pitchers against bad lineups, and you're thinking, well, how bad are these pitchers? How bad are these lineups? You know what I'm saying? And in general, you just got to be pretty careful when you're taking a high over like 9.5 or 10 with 2 bad lineups. Although I am leaning that way today in that game, and we will get into that, Jimmy the Bag. But it's great to be back here. Things are going pretty well. I guess before we get into the comments, before we get into anything, let's just quickly jump into the 12 o'clock MLB game. DeGrom against Soroka for Atlanta. You have anything to say about this one, Jim? Obviously, the Mets can't hit at all. DeGrom, obviously, though, is legit awesome. I was thinking maybe about a shot with the second half over at 3, but I don't know. I guess it's probably going to be a pass for me. You have anything on this one, Jim?
I do. Adam Lopez still says still no World Cup topic. Yes, as we said yesterday, Adam Lopez over and over again. That starts this afternoon. I am on the Mets first 5 minus a half run. I do not believe in Soroka. I know he had a very nice debut against the Mets at Citi Field, but I don't really believe in him moving forward. 3.68 ERA, 1.70 WHIP. 15 Ks, 14 walks. He allows a lot of hits. Yes, he pitched well at Citi Field. Followed that up with 2 rough starts. Allowed 15 hits, 9 runs. 5 of them earned, over 8 2/3 versus the Giants and the Marlins. Then went on the shelf for 4 weeks with a shoulder strain. 20-year-old Canadian kid. I think he's got a lot of potential to have a good career in Major League Baseball, but he just had a 73 pitch outing in Gwinnett. I don't think this is good enough. They were going to give him another start. They decided not to. I wonder if that's a mistake. DeGrom is pitching very well. I can get a pretty much even money on the minus a half run in the first 5, and I think the Mets can get to him for 1 or 2, and that will be enough because DeGrom is pitching very well. 0.50 ERA versus the Braves this season, allowed just 11 hits and a run over 18 innings. Best in the National League ERA by nearly a half run. So yes, I'm on the first 5 minus a half run.
Really? Okay. Well, let's check this one. First 5 innings minus a half run for the Mets. I'm just worried about how the Mets are going to score here. We can give you plus 100 at the Heritage Bookmaker and a bunch of other places. Is that okay for you, Jim?
That is okay for me.
All
Native
right.
Queen has come in saying New York Mets score first. No score in the first. New York Mets first 5 money line and minus a half run, just like me.
Very nice.
And New York Mets game under.
All right, very nice. Yeah, a lot of people are liking under here. Jim Toblerson asking about the over, but Dave L.A. likes first 5 under 4 and the full game under. Okay. Let's see. People are already talking about the Boston game. That's an interesting. Adam Lopez, yes, still no World Cup. What's good, fam? Yes, World Cup is coming this afternoon, right, Jim?
This afternoon
Absolutely.
and every show after that. Stay cool, man. We're good.
Yes,
We're good. And we have the team bankroll coming in on the late show. We're going to be heavy hitting World Cup, but not this morning.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. So, wow, look at that. Other people are already agreeing with you, Jim. Rojo Flo says Mets first 5 minus a half in this game is my only play. Jim Toblerson taking Mets first 5 money line. Okay. All right. You might be on the right side here. I'm not disagreeing with you. Obviously, I think that DeGrom is legit awesome. I also think that the Mets lineup is a legit ass, right?
Yeah.
This is how handicapping goes. What's more important, DeGrom's awesomeness or the Mets lineup's assness? I don't know. You think DeGrom's awesomeness is more important?
I also think Soroka can get touched for 2 runs here. And if he gets touched for 2 runs, I should be good.
All right, so let's finish up the comments here. Jim has made a pick on this one. I'm going to pass on this one. I was thinking maybe about taking a shot with the second half over, which would just be 3. But I don't know. What do you think about that, Jim? I mean, how ass is the? Let's just quickly talk about that for this game and future reference. How ass is the Mets lineup actually? I mean, if you're someone was thinking about taking a second half over at 3, what would you think about that? Can the Mets put up 1 against this Braves bullpen?
I think they can put up 1, but I also think that the Mets bullpen is very bad of late. So I can understand that play, but for me, a simple play that I think has the most edge is DeGrom and the Mets first 5 minus half run, but I could definitely understand that play.
Keeping it simple. All right, so let's move on. Let's just quick check the comments. Great to see Native Queen in here bright and early giving us plays. Native Queen, I missed you, pal. I missed you, pal. Thanks so much for being with us. And what did Native Queen say? So she's basically agreeing with everything that you said on this game and throwing on some Mets to score
yes, she agrees with it very much. And she's got 5 plays on it. My man M. Sunk says the old awesomeness versus assness debate. Why I love this show.
Yes, that is what it is. Awesomeness versus assness, the old dichotomy in sports betting, right?
And Adam Lopez says, love you, Jimmy, thanks. He knows we're going to be hammering the World Cup. We're going to be hammering it very, very hard every single day. So don't be concerned.
Yes, a lot of that. For in the NFL, for example, Pats against the Browns, right? Pats awesome, Browns ass. There it is again. You see this all over the place. You have to master the awesomeness versus assness debate to really excel in sports betting. And here we have a classic example of it. Jimmy the Bag, like in the Mets' first 5 innings, minus half. I'm still thinking about maybe throwing on the second half over 3 minus 130, but I don't know.
Yeah, I could understand why you would. Brandon Biaggi says, I'm on Mets' first 5 with you, Bag. Mr. ESPN says, I'm home, fellas. Native Queen says, miss you, 2 Pete, you are demand. And King Rail, 7-1 in WNBA yesterday. He was dealing with some family stuff over the weekend, and just want him to know that we love you, and we're sending love and energy to you and your family.
Absolutely, and congratulations, 7-1 in WNBA. For people who know what they're doing in WNBA, well, in all minor sports, but in WNBA in particular, yes, you can have those kinds of results going forward. And yesterday, I did take it in the colostomy bag yesterday. I did give 2 plays. I lost. I'm still up on the air in WNBA, but I lost. I gave Indiana on the money line. They almost came back. Did you see what happened on that one? They almost came back, and then they lost it in OT. And the game went over.
All I know is the Fever aren't to be trusted.
Yeah, I had 2 losses in WNBA yesterday, but I'm still positive on the year for WNBA. And congratulations on King Rail. All right, so I guess let me see. Kobe Valentine says Asdrubal Carrera is doubtful today against Atlanta. Does that bother you?
I mean, it's sad that it bothers me. It just goes to show you the assness of their lineup that Asdrubal Cabrera can bet in the 3 spot and be so important to the team. But he's not a guy that I believe in moving forward. So,
and here we have some quick. Anthony L., regular commenter, great commenter, says, hey guys, on my lunch break, so giving my plays real quick. Astros run line, okay, that's the Cole start.
Yeah.
Diamondbacks run line, okay, that's the Greinke start. We will talk about that. And the Reds run line, that is the Reds against KC. Right, we will definitely get into that one as well. Great, thanks so much for that, Anthony L. A lot of day games. And
Jesus Cabrera saying, Jimmy Bag told you fade Pittsburgh when Williams pitches. Had the over there, so sort of a semi-fade, but you're absolutely right, Jesus, and he those 90 mile an hour, it doesn't look too sneaky anymore. So I feel you totally. And Lathrop has joined us. My man Dark Kent in the house. Dave L.A. in the house. Kobe Valentine, Young Vaughn. And Young Vaughn says the assness is real in New York.
It certainly is. It certainly is. But, again, on the other side with DeGrom, the awesomeness is absolutely real. That is not an illusion or a fluke at all, right, Jim?
Absolutely. He just looks the more locked in I've ever seen him in his career. In fact, when his velocity went down, not last year but the year before, I was like, are we seeing a very early kind of end to his greatness?
Yeah.
And we are not. He's an excellent pitcher.
Yeah. All right. So let's just get into it. We've already covered all the comments with handicapping opinions that I definitely wanted to mention, and we can get into MLB. Of course, we do have afternoon games. Let's throw that record up. Just so let's look at it. Look at this, Jimmy the Bag. Sure. Once again, my MLB record was saved yesterday. I was looking at a losing day, and I had a bunch of losing plays in the early part of the day, but then the quintuple up on the Dodgers game. definitely cashed. I guess we should maybe just quickly look back at yesterday's games and see if there's anything, any lessons we want to take from yesterday's games. What happened in yesterday's game? Well, we were right about Tampa Bay. Once again, I didn't understand why everyone was on Colorado. That wound up being a push for me because I took a -1 and I didn't give it as a pick. But the Yankees cashed as well. And let's see.
Sabathia threw a great start.
Yes.
You probably would have added units to that play had I not been fearful for him. But he stepped it up.
I actually took Washington the first 5 innings team total over. That was one of my losses on that one, but I also had the Yankees second half and the Yankees -1. We cashed on Minnesota Detroit first 5 under, but the full game did not go under.
I really liked that play. It was following that game quite closely, and we were in control of that.
And someone told us that with the overs in the Dodgers game, someone mentioned that the humidity and the weather just felt like it was good. Someone was in LA talking about that. Who was that?
That sounds like Dave LA, but I don't know if it was. I don't remember. But we got Dave LA on the ground in LA. We got Big Boss there too. We got all these guys, Walter Trotter there. We got people on the grounds in all these places. It really, really helps.
That really does help. You can just people who live in a place know how things go. You can just sort of smell offense or lack of it in the air. You know what I'm saying? And that was what put me on the quintuple plays on the Dodgers game when you were telling me that someone was saying that they were standing there and it just felt humid and that the weather was going to be good for offense. And then also, once again, with these first 5 inning team total overs that I think are going to hit at like 60%. The ones that lose, I tip my hat and move on. And one of them lost yesterday. Thought I would good fate of James Shields, right? I gave it at -115, 2.5. Wound up moving to 3, and Shields had a fine start. What happened?
He had better than a fine start.
Yeah.
And then that was an interesting situation where the line moving to 3 saved me, got me off the play.
Sure.
So that was fortunate for me. But was it Tomor who said that he thought Shields was going to have a good start? I believe it was Tomor who, he had that terrible start, 2 starts ago, and then came out with that beauty of a start. He's a tricky guy to figure out.
Yes, absolutely. And here we go. Wait, hold on. Where is it? Adam Lopez says, "Damn Pete, 42 units. Holla, Adam Lopez. I'm hollaing. I definitely am. Thank you so much, Adam Lopez. And I am. All right. So let's see. What do we got going on?
Wow, Lathrop's on the Orioles -2.5 at +750.
Wow. I wonder why. We're definitely going to talk about that game.
Sale does not look like a little bit of arm fatigue.
Is that what you think is going on here? Because that game did not have an overnight line, so I did not look at it on last night, but I did look at it a little bit in the morning. I didn't look into Sale too much, but I'm thinking that this guy Jeffrey Ramirez is probably going to get hit. All right, let's move into MLB officially now. Jimmy the Bag. We can start with this game, Boston against Baltimore. I'm not sure what to make of Sale here, but I definitely feel like this guy Jeffrey Ramirez is, he has some nice stuff, but he also has control issues and command issues, which is very, very, very common for youngsters, right?
Yeah.
He's coming up facing a tough lineup. His stuff is fine, but not great. If command issues crop up here, he's going to struggle. And I was thinking at the very least, Boston first 5 innings team total over is worth a play. I definitely took that one, but you're not. I didn't look into Sale though yet. You're not high on Sale at the moment, are you?
Well, no. I think I'll always be high on Sale, but he looks as susceptible as he has in a long time. Lost his last 3 starts. He did pitch very well in his last start. So no, it's not. I can understand of all of the premier pitchers in the league fading Sale, but not with Jeffrey Ramirez. Although he looked fine in AAA Norfolk, 4.33 ERA, 1.21 WHIP through 16 and third, 63 Ks, 20 walks. The O's are just not a team to have faith in, and it turns out that Lathrop was just showing us he's not making a move.
Okay, right. I mean,
but just says it's tempting. Wind's blowing out over right center. I don't know what to make of this game. I don't have an official pick on it. I do expect runs though. And Sale just doesn't look as dominant, but he looked good against the White Sox. He's a premier pitcher in this league. The Orioles don't hit lefties. This is a good lineup for him. 235, 672 OPS versus lefties. But I'm not making a move on this one yet. I wonder if anybody is here. Rojo Flo says
yeah.
can't trust Baltimore.
I'm definitely going to take Boston on the first 5 innings team total over, which will be, I definitely bet this one, minus 124 at Pinnacle.
And what's the number?
And 2.5 minus 124. And I will definitely bet that one. I'd already bet it. I'm definitely going to give that one as an official pick. 2.5 minus 124. If Ramirez comes in and has a nice start, which is entirely possible with these youngsters, you never know, especially youngsters that, the major league hitters haven't seen. They don't have a scouting report. So he could come in, his changeup could be fine, and he could have a nice start, and I'll eat the loss. But I think that a percentage play is on the team total over for Boston here.
Yeah, I think that play makes sense. Jeffrey, when you come up to a losing team and you're not a number one prospect in the organization, there's a little bit less pressure on you. And,
Sure.
And he's capable. All these kids coming up with less pressure on them, and he's a little older. I mean, he's not 20. I think. This is a tricky spot, and the Red Sox are just way too big of a favorite for a road spot for me, and I don't find anything appealing. But I should say that the most appealing play is the one you've made.
And what do you think? I'm thinking about doubling up and taking the Boston full game team total over as well, which would be 5 at Pinnacle. What's your take on the Boston lineup right now, Jim? I know you've looked into it.
Well, the news here is that Moreland is going to be out of the lineup, and against righties, that's a rare occurrence.
Yeah.
I don't trust this Red Sox lineup until Mookie gets lit up. Yes, 262 average, 786 OPS. They've been great all year, but they're not hitting the way they were hitting,
right.
And they won't start doing that until Mookie gets.
But he's back.
He's back, but he's not hitting as the way he was comparable to Trout as the best player in the league before he got hurt, and he's not quite back at that spot yet.
Okay. And so
Mally Mal says super run line all day, Jimmy.
On Boston, he's saying. So they're sitting Moreland. Why would they be doing that?
Rest.
Oh, man. All right. Maybe I will. All right. I'm going to think about it. I'm definitely going to take the first 5 innings team total over. Thinking about taking the full game team total over at 5 as well. But that's it for now for that game. Let's see. Other day games, we have Angels, Seattle. This is actually a tough card. Of course, regular viewers will know that over the past few days, I've had just a ton of plays on these cards. Today's probably going to be a little bit more modest. Pittsburgh, Arizona is the day game there. Angels in Seattle and Cubs, Milwaukee. Pittsburgh, Arizona. I was thinking about taking a shot with Greinke, even though Arizona is maybe due for a down spot after stacking so many wins at home. And Taillon has been decent, but Greinke just a crafty veteran who knows how to get results at home. And thinking about Arizona -1 feels exactly the same as my leans to Yankees -1 and Philly -1 yesterday. And I feel the same way here. I know it's a big line, but Arizona is I think legit heating up offensively. Greinke is legit reliable. What do you think about that?
I agree, but I just starting to dislike this Diamondbacks bullpen quite a bit. So my play is just on the first 5 minus a half run. I trust Greinke at home, almost implicitly. Undefeated at home this season, 3-0, 1.64 ERA in those 7 starts. He has lost 1 of his last 25 starts at Chase Field. His numbers aren't very good against the Pirates. Most of that was, though, when he was with the Brewers. Pirates have lost 8 straight series. Diamondbacks have scored 51 runs in their 5-game winning streak. But Taillon, after winning those first 2 decisions and getting called out by Twadi, he must have heard what Twadi was saying about him, because as soon as Twadi said that, he's now 1-5 with a 5.36 ERA. So I do not like the way Taillon is looking. And but the most comfortable play for me is the first 5 minus a half run, and that's what I will be on.
All right. A lot of people saying the over might be a good play here. So you want the first 5 run line, Jim?
Minus a half run, yes.
For Arizona, minus 110. That's a market line. Again, we are coming to you from SBRodds.com, sportsbookreview.com. If you'd like to sign up with UWager, please use the link in the description box below the video so that people can know that you found out about UWager through this show, and people can know that people watch this show, because there's people who still doubt it. People say, does anyone really watch this show? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. All right, Jimmy the Bag. Arizona, first 5 innings, minus a half run, minus 110. Minus 110.
Well, let's get some exciting stuff out here. Nostra Toda took a shot on O's reverse run line plus 500.
Okay.
Sale gives up a lot of fly balls. Nice hitting weather in Balti.
Sure.
Slytech says don't overvalue Mitch freaking Moreland. Although he's a good defensive first baseman, and he can't hit righties.
Yeah, he hits a lot of home runs,
He certainly does against righties. Juicy Toast, my man Juicy Toast says Arizona over. Jim Toblerone on Arizona first 5 money line and run line. Dave LA, D-backs, Pirates, first 5 under. Very interesting stuff. Moses J saying, is the humidity in Arizona messing with Greinke? Or I guess he's meaning the humidor. No, I think Greinke's numbers are incredible at home, so I don't think...
he's been doing great. Other people have been suggesting that the over 7, I mean, it is kind of a low total, even though, I don't particularly want to fade Greinke and Taillon at first blush. I mean, a total of 7 with the way these teams have been hitting. Now, although the line has been moving down, Jim Toblerson says the line moved down to a 7. I did notice that. I think it opened at 8.
Hitting and fielding poorly. The Pirates just made a mess of yesterday's game. I can understand it. I love those low totals like that. But again, I'm trying to keep everything very simple and very sharp. And I find the play that gives me the most, that I can believe in the most, is the Diamondbacks first 5.
All right. You know what? I made some decisions. First of all, I'm going to throw on Boston team total over on the full game. I will throw that one over. I'll double up on that one. And I am also going to take Arizona -1. You know what I'm saying? I had the balls to take the Yankees -1 yesterday, even though the line moved against them. You remember that was a line move against them?
Yeah.
I didn't have the balls to give Philly -1 yesterday, and it wound up being okay because it would have been a push. But, I think it was still the right side. So here we go. Let me just find the numbers here, quote the numbers here. I'm going to double up on this Boston team total over. This guy, Jeffrey Ramirez, I'm just not sure if he's ready to face a lineup like Boston in this situation. So it's over 5 -136, which is a high line. But if Ramirez struggles with command, that shouldn't be too hard to get over. And then I'm going to take Arizona -1. Let me just find the lines at Pinnacle.
And while you're finding the lines, let's give a shout out to Native Queen, who is already 1-for-1 on the day with no score in the Mets Braves first inning.
Unfriggin' real. Took her, how long did that take her? 10 minutes?
12 minutes.
Unbelievable. Native friggin' Queen. Native friggin' Queen. Unbelievable. Great job once again.
Giant asset to our team
Huge.
here. Trevor Holt says, Pete, I like how you're developing balls and sacking up.
Yes. Thank you very much. It's, it's not easy to, when you decide you're going to sack up in life, you don't expect results, immediately the very next day to have a full sack power. You know what I'm saying? It's a struggle. You have to, just like a minor leaguer who's coming into the majors and acclimates himself to the majors and develops his stuff and figures out how to succeed. It's the same way with having balls in life. You know what I'm saying? It can take a little time. You learn, you persevere. That's the most important thing. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
I tried to force myself to have more balls, and I looked around and realized that sometimes I still lacked balls, but I persevered, Jim. And now I'm still not there fully, but I'm definitely making improvements in the sacking up department. Would you agree with that, Jim?
I would. You have a tremendous sack.
Thank you very much, Jim. And I'm going to take Arizona here, -1, which is going to be almost even money. -148 at Pinnacle is the money line, and the run line is at the Greek +145. So that's going to be almost even money. I'll take it. If it loses, that's fine. I'll eat the unit of loss. I think it's a decent bet, all things considered. All right, let's keep moving on. What do you want to hit us with, Jim?
I want to hit the next game that's coming up in about 40
Toronto, Tampa Bay.
46 minutes, I believe. I am on the Blue Jays first 5 -1/2 run. I am not a believer of Font. I am a believer enough in Hap. He actually has been keeping our team together with his starts every 5 days. But Font, I don't believe. Hap 8-3, 3.71 ERA, 1.08 WHIP. And he's had a huge struggle in Tampa. He took that line drive. I don't know if you remember that line drive about 5 years ago. Took a line drive that had fractured his skull and then busted his knee on the way down. He's been back to the Trop 9 times since the injury. Only won once, and that was in 2013. But 4-0 in his last 5 starts. Friday against Baltimore through 7 innings, allowed only 2 hits and a single unearned run. Font is on his 3rd major league team this year. We faded him. Last start, and it worked. Font's 0-1, 8.40 ERA, 1.73 WHIP. But his 5 games in Tampa, he's fared much better. 3.24 ERA and 0-1. In those 5 games, he's thrown 8 in the 3rd, allowing 3 earned runs on 5 hits. But I don't trust him. Rays are hitting 246, 714 versus lefties. Jays are hitting 233, 722 overall. And I don't trust this bullpen. I really think, as we talked about, what Hillebrand said many, many years ago, that this was a sinking ship. I feel the same way about this Blue Jays team. But first 5, I'm going to take them -1/2 run.
Yeah, and do you have any? Why would this? Some people must be out for these teams because the total dropped from 8 to 7, and I don't know if these are necessarily starting pitchers who warrant that low of a total.
Font, he'll only be in there for about 5 outs, but why don't we just take a quick look at the lineups?
So what do you want? Toronto -1/2?
Yes, first 5.
All right, Toronto -1/2, first 5 innings, -1/2. Jimmy the Bag, we can give you at Bookmaker -101. The current line at Bookmaker -101. First 5 innings -0.5. Toronto. I'm just wondering.
Oh yeah, because we already were told, I believe, by Kobe that Kendrys Morales is out of the lineup.
Right, yes, he's out.
So he's out, and then it's a pretty ugly. I mean, this Jays lineup is just ugly.
Yeah,
just an
and
ugly
Eddings is in there, but I would still be leaning over here. I'm not going to take it, but yeah.
I could definitely understand why you'd like the over, but I feel the play with that gives me the best opportunity is first 5 -0.5 run, and you said that was at -101?
Yeah, -101. Wow, and interestingly, the Rays on the second half is +125, which is very curious considering what the line is here.
How many bullpen days are they going to throw? I mean, you keep throwing bullpen days, your bullpen is just going to not be able to keep rolling. And if they think that Romo can close games for them, he's going to get touched.
Sure. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what to make of this one. I'm thinking that Tampa Bay second half at +125 might be a play, and I'm thinking that the over at 7 might be a play as well.
I agree with you. I think those plays make sense.
Man, I don't know what to make of this right now. Those are definitely leans I'm going to think about. Again, that game did not have an overnight line, so I didn't have a chance to get into that one fully. All right, and then the only other day game is Angels in Seattle. This is also probably going to be a pass for me. Gonzalez against Richards. Both these starting pitchers are pretty decent, pretty reliable. Don't really want to fade either of them. Maybe you could talk me into a shot with the under, but I think I'm going to pass on that one. It is a low total. I think I'm going to pass on this one. Angels against Seattle. You have anything to say about that one, Jim?
I am interested in these unders, but yes, it is a low total. How low is it at right now?
It's 7.5 on the overnight line, and it is there's still an 8. Yes,
there's still a couple eights. Our friends at UWager hanging at 8.
Yes.
I'm not sure what to pull the trigger on with the first 5 of a full game. I'd like to talk it out here. Game time temp 62 Fahrenheit. Wind blowing out straightaway center. Decent speed. Richards 4-4, 3.26 ERA, 1.27 WHIP through 66 in the third, 76 Ks, 32 walks. I watch him very closely as I have him in the baseball pool, and I believe in him. I'm a believer in Garrett Richards moving forward. He hasn't won since beating these Mariners, but he has their number. He shut them down 6 2/3, 1 walk, 8 Ks, just allowed 4 hits. But since then, he's 0-3. But he hasn't allowed more than 3 earned runs in any of the 6 starts. Richards, 2.91 ERA in his career against the Mariners. Gonzalez is pitching very well. He's allowed just 3 earned runs over his past 5 starts. Makes me happy to see Gonzaga kid pitching this well. 3 career starts against LA, 4.40 ERA, but I think you can pretty much put a line through that. He's a different pitcher now. Angels they don't hit anybody right now, pretty much, except for Trout. Trout's the only guy hitting on this team. I mean, Kinsler had a few games there where he was hitting the ball, but Angels are hitting 225 with a 699 OPS versus lefties. The Mariners are hitting 259, 746 OPS overall. I like the under here, and I'm not sure if I should pull the trigger on the first 5 or the full game.
A lot of great comments are coming in about all this stuff.
Because I need to. If you could read them out while I make a decision.
Yeah. Okay. Not even necessarily about. Yeah. All right. Okay. Let me take this. Can we turn the air conditioner? Do we have air conditioning here? I don't know. Do we have air conditioning?
I like it. When you're sweating, you're more aggressive.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's when you
right,
sack
okay,
up the most.
Take this shit. All right. That Fire TV says loving Seattle today. But here, not applicable says Seattle and over money line. JP says Seattle under 7.5 is the play. Nostratota says Seattle reverse run line. Wrong team favored. Rojo Flow likes Seattle -0.5. And Rostradamus says Mariners pen is in rough shape today. Diaz and Pazos both have thrown for 3 straight days. So Rostradamus not liking the Mariners here. Maybe the Angels on the second half might be a decent play. Jim Tobleson says Angels all game. Dave LA, Angels money line. A lot of disagreement here.
I think that's a very great point about Seattle's bullpen. Although the Angels aren't hitting, so those of you backing Seattle, I don't know if that would necessarily take me off of it. What it is going to do, though, is take me off of the full game. I'm going to take the first 5 under 4.5.
Okay.
So that will be my play, and let's do a little line shopping right now.
Okay. First 5 under 4.5. Let me just find it. First 5 totals for the Angels in Seattle. Under 4.5 -130, 125 at UWager. We can give you 125.
All right.
You want that one?
Perfect.
All right. Jim's going to take the Seattle game. First 5 innings under 4.5 -125. That is right now at UWager and BetMania. Pinnacle has 130. Most other places are down to 4. I'm thinking about Seattle on the second half, and thinking about the Angels on the second half, and thinking about the second half over at just 3. The Angels aren't hitting right now, are they?
They're not.
And you think that's not likely to change here?
Well, Trout is hitting. Trout is absolutely on fire. I mean, he took took a foul ball off his shin that they had to do a quick MRI for, which came back fine. But he's got 4 home runs in his last 2 games. He's the only guy hitting this lineup that looked very tough. All of a sudden looks vulnerable, and it looks vulnerable with just Andrelton Simmons and Ohtani missing. It shouldn't look this vulnerable.
Yeah. I'm thinking about this one. Let's see. I'm looking for other comments here. Dan Kelly says U.S. Open golf tomorrow. First round leader bets winner will come from the morning flight. The course will be soft in the AM because of today's rain, and the wind is going to howl in the afternoon. There you go. He's saying, hold on, I'm going to save that comment
what was it? Sorry, I missed that.
He's saying that in the U.S. Open tomorrow, the first round leader, the winner will come from the morning flight because the course will be soft in the AM because of the rain, and the wind is going to howl in the afternoon. So he says, take the first round leader in the from the morning flight. Yes, the first round leader. There you go, Dan Kelly. Thank you so much. Awesome friggin' comment there from Dan Kelly. Let me see other comments that are. Other comments coming in that
Sean Wynn saying, will you be covering the U.S. Open? I guess it's not really going to work out time-wise because we're starting all of our World Cup stuff this afternoon. It'll be off and running Thursday morning.
We'd love to. So maybe sometime in the future we'll have a format show where we can cover everything that people want to cover. But Jim and I just don't quite have enough time to be experts on all of this. All right, I got a lot of leans.
Dave L.A. saying Angels second half or Angels money line live bet.
Let me see. I'm just looking at comments. A ton of comments were coming in. Let me see. Jimmy Malone says Pete's wardrobe furnished by a Ted Danson yard sale. Thank you, Jimmy Malone. All right, let's see. A lot of comments. I'm just looking for. There's so many comments. People don't understand. I wish we could get to them all. All right. What do you have? We didn't talk about the Cubs game. While I scan for comments, Jim, why don't you address what your thoughts on the Cubs game?
Would love to. Game time, temp 78 Fahrenheit. Wind blowing out over right center. Pretty hard, double digits. Montgomery 2-1, 3.56 ERA, 1.16 WHIP through 43 innings, 25 Ks, 12 walks, and they're just saying great things about him as a starter right now. And I am. I don't know if he's capable of continuing this kind of success as a starter, but man, Madden's in love with the guy. Montgomery 2-0, 1.02 ERA in 3 starts this season. And he just came off holding the Pirates to run over 6 innings his last time out. Chacin has looked very good. Very good, especially over his last 11 starts. We remember he had a bad start to this season. Overall, 5-1, 3.58 ERA, 1.25 WHIP. But in his last 11 starts, 5-0, 2.92 ERA. And he's always pitched the Cubs tough. 2-4, bad record, but a 3.82 ERA. And we know the kind of offense that Cubs have. So anytime you have an ERA under 4 against this vaunted offense, it's pretty good. Cubs are hitting .259 with a .758 OPS, and that number's been climbing all year long. And the Brewers continue to not be able to hit lefties. .225, .683 OPS versus lefties. This is a huge game. These guys are battling for the division. This is a big, big game. I expect the Cubs to step up. Let's see what people have to say. Scotty Rocks on the Brewers money line. Now, I expect the Cubs to step up, but I don't believe in Montgomery enough to bet on them. So let me take that, let me add that as well. Tomor says Montgomery's been good as a spot starter for several years, not the first time. I'm not inferring that this is the first time he's ever done this, Tomor. Datfire TV says in Cubs we trust. Not applicable says not a fan of Mont. Rojo Flo says Montgomery pitches well on the road and in day games. Look at the splits this season. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Tomor says I'm on the Cubs here. Milwaukee doesn't hit lefties. Chacin has struggled against left-handed hitters. I'm on the Cubs and I lean under.
I was thinking about the Cubs as well, and I was thinking about taking the. I got a lot. All of a sudden I got a lot of borderline leans here, Jim. And as you know, in general, my leans are things that I should probably be giving. Although yesterday my leans were terrible. Most of my leans lost yesterday, so it's a good thing that I didn't give any of the leans yesterday. Big Dave says first 5 over on the Cubs game. Yes, seen struggles against the Cubs. Brewers will score 4 runs today. So he likes the first 5 over
Dom
on
Ricci's
that one.
on the under in the Cubs game. King Rail says I'm all over the Brewers. Kobe Valentine taking the Brewers on the run line -1.5.
Okay, JM says it seems like you guys never get anger. Why is that? Because we're fucking Buddhists. Okay, that's why. I don't know about Jim because we're fucking Buddhists. God, all right?
No, I am there. My issue is I can't sleep.
Right.
When I'm losing. It's not really anger. It's more like wallowing in self-pity, and then the anxiety comes in. It doesn't really come out as anger. I'm pretty thankful for this opportunity in life, and the sun is shining, and I wake up, I get to sit beside Pete.
Yes.
And all these guys are becoming like close friends that I care about immensely, and I'm very thankful about all this in life. Hard to get angry.
Yeah, but for me, it's because I'm a fucking stoic fucking Buddhist, all right? And I'm just trying to figure out what the fuck to do about these. You know, I know I can deliver a curse word. It doesn't seem forced out of my mouth, right?
No,
It feels very natural on my lips here, Jim. All right, let me tell you what I'm thinking about, Jim. Here are the leans that I'm thinking about that I'm spazzing out over here.
Sure.
I'm thinking about Tampa Bay second half. I'm thinking about taking the Cubs.
I think it's hard. I don't want to talk you off.
No,
this 'cause I
please.
think the Blue Jays bullpen's terrible, and it's always a good play. And you're getting what line are you getting? You're getting a nice
Plus 125.
See that seems very appealing, and it could be almost a trade. I don't believe in that stuff that much though. But I just feel like the Rays continually have these bullpen days.
They're hitting better.
And they're hitting better, but they continually have these bullpen days, and they catch up to them.
Yeah,
they catch up to them. We saw that happen in Washington when they allowed 11 runs in that one game, and I was like, I've been waiting for those bullpen days to catch up them. But that line is very appealing.
All right, so I'm thinking about Tampa Bay second half. I'm also thinking about the second half over in that game, which is just 3. I'm thinking about taking the Cubs here against Milwaukee. Baltimore already made my decision. I took Boston first 5 innings team total over and full game team total over, and I bet that first 5 innings team total over immediately as soon as I saw it. Arizona, Pittsburgh, made my decision, took Arizona -1. And Angels, Seattle, I'm also thinking about Angels second half and the second half over in this game as well.
Well, Kobe really agrees with your analysis of the second half play on Tampa. Says
really?
Kobe, yeah, he says if Jays are up after Hap leaves, bet in-game Tampa Bay to win.
Do I need to hear any more? Is there anything more that I need to hear? All right, I'm going to take it. I'm going to take both of those. I'm going to take Tampa Bay second half for sure. That's going to be plus 125. That's the current line at Bookmaker. And then I'm thinking about taking the second half over 3 as well. I know that Eddings is the ump for this game, isn't he? Yeah, Eddings is the ump. So Eddings, of course, long-term under trending ump. But things have evened out just a little bit. It doesn't mean that there can't be a good spots to take overs with him. I'm going to take Tampa Bay second half plus 125. That's definitely an official pick, and I'm still thinking about the second half over, and then the Angels on the second half against Seattle. Why not? What's your take on Seattle right now? Is their offense productive?
They're just winning. They're a great baseball team wins those close games and doesn't do too much. But I don't know how they're doing it. I look at their lineup and I'm like, God, I mean, all the pieces seem to be working together in unison. And again, I said yesterday there were 18 games over 500 yesterday. I said they will not be 18 games over 500 when the season ends.
They're definitely overachieving. And Anthony L. pointed out a run differential stat yesterday that just tells that story, sort of incontrovertibly, right? Their run differential indicates that they should not have the 1-loss record that they have right now. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I am gonna take the Angels on the second half. I will take the LA Angels on the second half, and I think I will take the Seattle game second half over as well. So let me just
Lathrop's on that Tampa first 5 over 3.5. Sean Robertson is on it as well.
Okay. All right, so the Angels' second half is going to be minus 125, and the second half over is going to be 3 minus 133. I might be making a little bit of a mistake here, but you do have that luxury when you're up a bunch of units. So I'm going to take the Angels' second half minus 125, and the second half over in this one, which is just going to be 3 at minus 133. And I think I'm going to hold off right now on the Tampa Bay Toronto second half over. Although I really want to take that one as well. It's just Eddings, you don't necessarily want to take overs with Eddings behind the plate, and the Blue Jays pen, are the Blue Jays hitting a little bit now?
Look, their lineup is awful.
Yeah,
look at this lineup that they're sending out now. I don't hate on Granderson, and their power numbers are actually quite good. Solarte has become a fan favorite in Toronto. He's batting the cleanup.
You hating on Smoke?
No, I mean Smoke's batting .230. We knew last year was an anomaly. Even though he was a high pick coming out of Texas, and I always believed in him. And when he went to the Mariners, I thought he was going to be a stud. Because he's a great fielding first baseman, but he just. That's what he is. He's a .234 hitter. Teoscar Hernandez. I mean, if you said beginning of the year, Teoscar Hernandez is going to be batting third, Solarte is going to be batting fourth, I would say, we'll lose 100 games. Grichuk's batting 186. Russell's batting 174.
Man, these comments and this discussion really, really freaking help. Here's a comment from Kobe Valentine says, I noted at the beginning of this year that MLB was storing their baseballs in a different climate than past years. This year, if you look at the stats, extra base hits are down, but home runs are up. Yes, and I thought that was just because of what teams were going for with their strategies for their pitchers and their hitters. All right, so King Rail, I'm all over Brewers. Dom Ricci, I took under in the Cubs game. Robert Bala says Chassin is bad against lefties. Cubs are loaded with lefties.
Yeah, interesting. And the chat is the most important part of our show, and I hate seeing what's going on with Rock and with Native Queen. You guys are both important members of the chat, and we need to keep this chat healthy and vibrant, and so please, you guys, please, let's give love to Native Queen. And
huge love. Who's not giving love to Native Queen? What's going on here?
My man Scotty Rock, it's just, this is not going to work long term, and we know, Pete and I know, that what makes our show special is the chat. So Scotty, I need you to just let it go, and we got to keep this a healthy place where we want to spend time.
Yes, there's beef on the chat. I didn't even realize that. I wasn't even aware of that, Jim. This must have all happened when I was gone.
Don't put this on me.
No, if there's
don't put this shit on me.
No. I'm saying if there's beef in chat, I'm gonna lay the hammer down. I'll make sure I'll squash that immediately. I just wasn't aware that was going on. All right. So anyway, in the meantime, it's an interesting card. I've given most of my leans. The only lean that I'm gonna stay off of is the Toronto Tampa Bay second half over 3. The Cubs Milwaukee game. Man, King Rail loves Milwaukee. Yes, that is. Look at this. Zobrist, Hayward, La Stella, Rizzo, Happ, Schwarber, all lefties. Top 6 hitters, nice lefties, and then Baez and Jimenez in the 7 and 8 slots. Man, I could see. Okay, let me just think about this. Let me just think about the Cubs Milwaukee game for a second. While I think about that, Jimmy the Bag, why don't we move on to the evening games? What would you like to give from the evening games?
This is I'm being very careful, and again, I don't know it. I'm going to start with the play, and I don't want it to be locked in. I want to talk it out and make sure that I want to take it. So let's start with a couple first 5 unders that I'm interested in. I'm interested in the first 5 under in Cleveland at Chicago. Bauer versus Covey. Game time temp 72 Fahrenheit, winds blowing in very softly. Bauer is looking excellent. 5-4, 2.62 ERA, 1.15 whip through 86 innings, 109 Ks, 29 walks, and 14 career games, 12 starts against the White Sox, 3.55 ERA. Covey looks good, doesn't he? He looks like last year was just getting acclimated as a MLB starter. He's not allowed an earned run in either of his past 2 starts.
And if you remember when he came back, and I did my research on I didn't predict that he was going to be good necessarily, but I did say that there were some positive signs that I saw from my research on him in the minors. Yeah.
And the Indians are hitting, the White Sox are not, but I really feel like the first 5 under is a spot here. I don't worry about the White Sox offense. I only worry about the Indians offense spoiling it. So what would I get on the first 5 under here, Indians at White Sox?
First 5 under, Indians at White Sox. Sorry, I am going to have some plays on this Cubs Brewers game. I'm just thinking about, okay, Indians at White Sox. First 5 under. Okay, Indians at White Sox. First 5 under. I'm back in the game, baby. Indians at White Sox, 4.5. 4.5 is what we can give you.
Is it juiced badly?
4.5, no, pretty standard. Minus 120 or so, I think. Wait, let me see. Indians White Sox on the under. Minus 115 is the best line we give you at Pinnacle.
I'm going to take it.
You want that one?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just thinking. I'm looking at this.
Under 4.5.
Under 4.5, minus 115. Okay, White Sox. First 5 innings, under 4.5, minus 115. I was thinking maybe about a shot with the White Sox on the second half here at a big line, but I'm not sure what else I want to do on this game. Let me just think about this one. Man, I do think the Cubs are going to hit Chassin. How is Chassin right now? Is he okay?
He's pitching well, but yes, I understand that whole idea that lefties can hit him. He's a crafty vet.
Yeah, he is.
But I understand it.
Okay, I'm going to take a shot with the first 5 innings team total over with the Cubs. It is 2.5, but it's plus 130, so it's a huge underdog line there. I am going to take the Cubs first 5 innings team total over 2.5 plus 130. I'm going to take a shot with that one. Whoever said that they were thinking about the first 5 over in general is something I'm agreeing with as well. 4.5 minus 115 at Bookmaker.
Yes, Anil Frank says, I really like that pick, Jimmy. I already know that King Rail is on it. There's a lot of talk, my man, Kingu about business, talking about how well Bauer is pitching right now. Ziggy Balls likes the Indians on the run line, but Bauer is he is a guy, he's so confident right now. He's throwing an average of 109 pitches a game, and just hearing him speak, he's a different guy. Now, he's not a guy that I really like that much, but just character-wise, and just the Twitter fights gets in. We've talked about that bullshit, but hearing him talk right now, he's just very, very confident. And if Covey can handle his side of it, then we're going to be just fine.
All right. Okay. Let me just think for a second here.
Lathrop says, Pete, I'm tailing that action. Cubs first 5 team total over.
Yeah, you're getting 2.5 plus 130. My only concern is that Chacin is a guy who, he's not one of these like lights out studs. So he's kind of an under the radar guy. And when he's what's going on?
Something's going on.
What's going on?
Okay, let's stay focused. Let's stay here.
The fuck are you pointing at me for? What? What's going on?
You're safe. You're safe beside me, Pete.
Oh, yeah?
You're always safe beside me. Let's keep rolling.
Johan was pointing to me about something. I don't know what he was saying. Maybe I was am I cursing too much or what's going on?
No, we're good. We're good. Yeah.
Oh, now double thumbs up. Everything's good. All right. Sorry guys. Just the producer was pointing at me. And now that we have the new studio, it's all professional now. So that means that professional means it's all soundproofed and everything's cut off. So now we can't communicate.
We're good.
Professional means you can't talk to each other anymore.
Got a lot of games to go through. Got to keep a brisk pace.
We do have to keep a brisk pace. All right, I'm going to take the first 5 innings over on this one. I'm going to take the Milwaukee first 5 innings over as well. Over 4.5 minus 115. 4.5 minus 115. That's the current line at Bookmaker. I'm just concerned because Chacin can be an under the radar guy who can have like good quality 6 inning starts when you don't quite expect him more often than not. You know what I mean? So I don't really love to fade him, but I will take it. I will take both those. Hopefully all my picks all over, when combined, come up a couple units. All right, that's it. Enough about that game. All right, what else do we have going on, Jim?
I'm very interested in, want to hear you guys, I'm very interested in the over here with Suarez versus Caleb Smith, Giants at Marlins. Suarez pitching in front, he went to high school just down the road, right? And he was a star in college. I don't have University of Miami, star, so he's going to have tons of friends and family out, and I never know. Generally, I don't think that helps. Generally speaking, I don't think that helps. He's 2-4, 5.06 ERA, 1.25 WHIP, but he has been pitching better. He's a very low walk rate, a high K rate. He's a guy. He's supposed to become a stud. His slider it dominates lefties. He's holding them to a 208 batting average, 1 homer, 5.62 OPS. But righties are hitting 303 off him with 7 homers. 870 OPS. The Giants are 3-6 when Suarez starts, but they've won 2 in a row with him on the mound. And on the road this year, he's been touched. 1-2 with a 6.75 ERA. Caleb Smith also tons of strikeouts, but lots of walks too. I think that he's also a work in progress. Tomor already says I'm on the over. San Francisco hit lefties, and why is he talking about Richard? Miami's hit lefties better. Both bullpens are weak. Kobe Valentine's on San Francisco. I feel like the over is a nice spot here, and it's a low total. What am I getting if I can jump on and over?
On which one?
The Giants
on the Giants and the Marlins. Okay, let me just find it. Giants and Marlins. Giants and Marlins. 7.5. No 7s that I'm seeing right now. Down from 8. His line is headed down.
That doesn't concern me. I really feel like there's a lot of volatility with these two kids and these two rookies. They're not really young kids, but these two rookies. And I'm going to take the over 7.5 here.
All right, over 7.5. Jim's going to take over 7.5 in San Francisco, Miami. That will be. We are line shopping here at SBRodds.com. Plus 102. We can give you plus 102. Miami game over 7.5 plus 102. That is the current line at Pinnacle. Okay.
Yeah, I like it. Rob Portwando saying San Francisco today, but very, very questionable. I know everybody's been making a lot of money off of Miami, and I love seeing that. Here's another spot. Now, stop me if this is just a recency bias, but after the mistake I made with the Reds Royals, I feel like Molly and Hamill can shut down these teams early, and I don't I mean, I don't trust the Royals bullpen. Both bullpens are pitching okay of late. But I'm thinking about this first 5 under in the Reds Royals.
I was thinking about the over now on this one, but not if it's 5.5. But at 5, I was thinking about the first. I might not be on the right side here. That's just what I was thinking about. I was thinking about the first 5 over and the second half under on that one as well. But I think I'm going to wait to make my decisions on that one a little bit later.
Well,
Jim.
that's going to make sure that I don't make a play there. Thank you for letting me know that.
I mean, I could be wrong. I'm just
yeah. You are white hot.
Yeah, I am.
Game time temp 84 Fahrenheit, winds blowing in. My man Nostra making a good point. A lot of guys coming in saying that they like Smith, and Kevin K saying I agree. Smith is sneaky good. Nostra says I like Smith sneaky good. Roof closed, raining, cavernous park. If the balls find gaps, who knows? I'm pretty comfortable with that over in that spot. But let's go back to Molly against Hamill. Royals have lost 8 and 9. Molly 4.6, 4.33 ERA, 1.43 WHIP. Molly just he's 1-0 in 2 June starts. Looks good. 11 hits, 2 earned runs in 10 innings. Looks better. I should say better. Hamill has not looked good this year, but 2-1 with a 2.59 ERA in his last 4 starts and 4.70 ERA in his last 5 home starts. 4-1 with a 3.42 ERA in 12 outings versus the Reds. Royals are hitting just 246 with a 686 OPS. They are going to lose over 100 games. And the chat was the one guys who got me on the under the season under right before the season started. So I thank the chat for that. I put $300 on it. Reds are hitting 251 with 717 OPS. These offenses shouldn't be trusted. But I'm very uncomfortable with you liking the over.
Just
Kevin K likes
the
under in KC. Ziggy Ball says Hamill's very good versus the Reds. Kingu about business says I may like Cincy team total over because they have been steady putting up 5 runs. That's a play I will take more time with.
All right, I have a few plays that I am going to throw on here. First of all, I am going to throw on San Diego, St. Louis, second half under 3.5 minus 120. Second half under 3.5 minus 120. These night games I'm going to analyze a little bit more and maybe throw on some other plays at night. I'm also going to take Colorado on the second half. I had a winner with Colorado on the second half yesterday, and I think I'm going to do the same thing here. Colorado on the second half at minus 120. That is at both Bookmaker and at Heritage. And I think I'm going to go back to the Dodgers. Well, standard play. Dodgers minus 1. Maeda's coming back. Don't know exactly what we're going to get from him. And Cole Hamels is obviously a crafty veteran who's giving up home runs but getting swinging strikes. Not necessarily in love with fading Hamels here, but I just feel like the Dodgers are they have their mojo back. They're a step above where Texas is. And my sense is that if Maeda's hip is fine, it wasn't a shoulder injury that he went on, and so Maeda's hip is fine. No reason to expect him not to have a decent start. And so I'm taking the Dodgers minus 1 as an official pick once again. Catch that one last night, and I'm going to go back to that. Well, same thing I'm doing with Arizona. Dodgers minus 1 as an official pick. I'm going to find the best lines right now here at SBRodds.com. What do you think of that, Jim?
I'm uncomfortable.
Why
I'm uncomfortable because of Cole Hamels. He's pitching well right now, and he has incredible numbers against the Dodgers in his career. I am going to make a move on the Rangers, and I just don't know exactly what to do at this point. Not sure. I guess the first half is more appealing than the full game, so I'm leaning towards the first half. I know my man Dave L.A. is very, and he lives now. He's very big on Hamels in this start, and he's making a higher than his regular unit bet.
Really?
On him. Yes. Kobe Valentine likes Texas minus 1.5.
Really?
Yes. And Ballymall says don't bet Texas. In my opinion, I like this spot. I like this squad. Underdog says fade Hamels, but then here's Dave L.A. saying Rangers money line, Rangers first 5 money line, Rangers reverse run line.
Yeah. At bet 365 right now, minus 1.5 is plus 300.
Sorry, say that again.
Plus 300 for Rangers to minus 1.5.
Yeah, I feel like the Dodgers have the kind of team that's going to end up getting you. Their offense is just rolling. I'm thankful that Nostra got me on the Dodgers to win the NL West. Even though the Diamondbacks are looking very good right now, there'll be hedging opportunities if I need to do that. And yeah, Brian Watson said Canada, USA, Mexico get World Cup bid 2026. It's going to be great. But yes, I like the Rangers here. Let's talk a bit about it. Dodgers have won 18 of their last 24. Rangers have lost 5 straight and are 7-14 their last 21 road games. It's Hamels that I'm betting on, not the Rangers. 3-6, 3.86 ERA, 1.5 1.24 whip through 79 and a third with 79 Ks, 29 walks. As I said earlier, 1.89 career ERA against the Dodgers. Maeda was pitching very good, but pitching so differently than I remember with the 68 Ks and 52 and a third. He's returning to the rotation after missing 2 weeks with a hip strain. Dodgers are hitting 238, 727 OPS versus lefties. The Rangers are hitting poorly against everybody, 230, 704 OPS overall. Yes, I do like first five Rangers. And but hearing you on the -1 Dodgers and all that, I can understand that. I'm going to take off the full game, not do that. I'm just going to take the Rangers on the first five.
Okay, yeah, I don't like fading Hamels right here. Obviously, Hamels has diminished stuff right now from when he was a stud earlier in his career, but he clearly knows how to make the best of it, so I'm not necessarily, I'm just taking the Dodgers here more, I think Maeda probably will have, I think it's a reasonable assumption that he'll have a reasonably good start, and if he does, Dodgers lineup and bullpen should be enough to give him the game. So I'm going to take the Dodgers -1, -167 is the money line, and then +132 is the run line at Pinnacle. And Jim's going to take the Rangers on the first 5 innings money line. Let's find the best line for him. Wow, nice 150. But let me just quickly check Pinnacle to see if we can get a better line for him there. Rangers. Let's see what we can give you, Jim. +146. We can only give you +150. Texas. First 5 innings money line +150, and I'm on the Dodgers -1. And once again, I added on St. Louis, San Diego second half under 3.5. Colorado second half -120, and I'm also thinking about adding on San Diego second half money line +115.
Kingu about business says if you like the Dodgers, take them second half, Pete.
Yeah, I mean, let me see what the second half line would be, though. You always got to make sure that you get a decent line. Let's see what the Dodgers second half line would be. Let me just quickly check. -120. Yeah, that's not a bad play either. I think that's probably a reasonable play.
No Shitoda supporting my Rangers first 5 +150. That makes me feel really good. Walter Trotter is on it as well.
Okay.
And see, when I see guys like Walter Trotter and Dave LA, guys that live in LA and they back their home teams then fading their home teams gives me extra confidence.
Absolutely. Okay, and I'm also thinking about San Diego on the second half at about +115. That's the only other lean that I would have from the night games. Anything else you want to add, Jim? We do have to wrap the show up in a few minutes.
I looked. There's some very interesting games that we can talk about more, but those were the games that I wanted to talk out that I liked, and I ended up making a move on all of those except for that Reds Royals first 5 under, which I'm probably not going to hammer after listening to you guys, but I like where I stand.
All right, so let's review all the picks that Jimmy and I have given. Turned out to be a lot in the morning show. Jim took Texas first half money line +150. Arizona first half -0.5. Toronto first half -0.5. The Miami game over 7.5. Mets first half -0.5. White Sox first half under 4.5. And Seattle first half under 4.5 as well. I wound up giving a ton of plays also. San Diego, St. Louis second half under 3.5. Tampa Bay second half +125. Cubs first half team total over 2.5 at +130. LA Angels second half -125. Colorado second half -120. Boston first 5 innings team total over 2.5, and the full game team total over 5 -136 at Pinnacle. Also the Seattle game second half over 3 -133. LA Dodgers -1. Arizona -1, and the Milwaukee Cubs game first 5 innings over 4.5 -115. So that's a huge amount of plays for me on the morning show. Jim also has a bunch of plays on the morning show. Of course, we'll be back at 6 o'clock Eastern time, where we'll go more in depth when we get into the in the evening games. We'll look at the line movements, maybe add some other plays on the evening games. Anything else you want to add, Jim, before we quickly touch on WNBA?
We heard a lot of early talk, a bunch of guys on the Astros, and then Nostra comes in saying take the A's reverse run line. I like what Blackburn's doing, and I'm waiting for Cole to get touched, and that will be a game I look into very closely. But I have all these games capped, and I can't wait for the afternoon show.
All right, yes, sounds good. And then, Kingu AB about business says second half over as well in the Dodgers game, because after Hamels comes out, the Texas bullpen is not lights out. Yes, that is an evening game. I might add some other plays onto that one. Might add San Diego second half. Might add Dodgers second half. Might add the second half over in the Dodgers game. We'll see. Let's see. other comments coming in. Here you
Coco
go.
Bongo says I had a
Yes.
4-game parlay yesterday.
2 games you guys leaned me towards, almost doubled my bankroll. Very nice job. Coco Bongo. Coco Bongo.
And
Great
here,
screen
Mark
name as well.
Lathrop says, I am also interested in A's reverse run line.
Okay, and let's just quickly get some comments, and we'll quickly touch on a WNBA. Walla Walla Dose says, love you guys, peace. Thank you so much, Walla Walla Dose. Let's see. Barca Man 9G11 says, Hamels has a great career ERA against the Dodgers in 8 starts. Yeah, I mean, Tom Marino says, I don't believe in Hamels long-term. He hasn't been consistent the last couple of years. Kobe Valentine says, I think Smith isn't that much better than Suarez, talking about the Miami game. The type of hitters San Francisco can hit Smith for contact. We will get into that game. Oh no, is that an afternoon game? I think that is an afternoon game, the Miami. No, that's an evening game. We will get into that one more in the 6 o'clock show, of course. All right. Any other comments that you want to identify, Jim? Why don't you scan for comments while I bring up the WNBA odds here at SBRodds.com? How about that? Any comments that are catching your eye there, Jim?
Yeah, JP says I want to start capping horse races. Any suggestions on how? Just learn the daily racing form. Start getting it. Go to the track with someone. The old guys at the track, they really want youth. People believe it's a dying sport, so they'll have no problem starting to teach you what all the numbers mean. It's a very complicated form, so just start learning it and stay in touch with me. Get with me on Twitter. I'm actually putting a crew of thoroughbred handicappers together. Lathrop says Blackburn's batted ball profile this year is off the charts good. Ziggy Ball said Blackburn beat KC, not impressive. This is a step up in class. And Farouk Islam says, hey, Jimmy, Bryce Harper in the lineup today versus the Yankees. Yeah, we expected. He said that he was fine, and Martinez needs him desperately. Interesting.
Okay.
WNBA is ready to go.
We get to WNBA.
Already have a Couchman Sports. He's on Washington versus Connecticut over 170.
Okay, we will talk that. We can throw the WNBA record up there. It's still positive for me, even though I had a couple of losers yesterday in the Indiana game, but I'm still up a unit and a half or something like that. 2 interesting games tonight. 2 big favorites, Connecticut and the Liberty are both big favorites. Of course, the Aces are on a back-to-back. The Aces are a team that's very up and down. They have a lot of talent, a lot of youth, so we see that in all sports. A lot of inconsistency. A lot of those kinds of teams get blown out by 40 points, and then they'll also win outright as a 15-point underdog. Great game with the Aces yesterday, and King Rail said that he liked the Aces in that game on the first half. Great call by King Rail on the Aces yesterday. I took a loss with fading the Aces, just hoping that Indiana would be able to pull out finally a win. They almost did, went to overtime, but they wound up losing. This game is interesting. The total's gotten bet way up. I was thinking that it might be a lower scoring game, and I was thinking that even if the Liberty get a nice win here, that the Liberty on the team total under might be the way to go at 87, but I'm going to hold off and wait to see where this line moves by the 6 o'clock show because the total has taken a massive move up. It was 160 when I handicapped it. Now it's all the way up to 164, so that's obviously a huge market move towards the over, so that makes me a little bit nervous. I was thinking that it might be a good candidate for an under, even though the Aces can play a very high-scoring brand of ball. So
King Rail leaning with you says no clear plays yet, but lean Aces first half and full game.
On this one, yes, that's what I was thinking as well. Even though they're on a back-to-back, they do have some mojo. They have that one rookie who's just lightning fast, really hard to guard. And once again, they're catching a big number here. So, and I was thinking maybe just to play it safe in case they completely collapse in the second half, maybe take a shot with the Liberty team total under, which would be just 87. The Liberty wants to get a win. The Coach Lane Beer can coach these guys into a lower scoring game. So I was thinking that maybe the Liberty on the team total under 87 might be worth the play. And then on the other side, Connecticut against Washington. Connecticut is just a juggernaut. They are one of these kinds of teams that can be relied on to cover, big 9, 10, 12-point spreads. Line's gotten bet down, though, down from 11 to 9.5, which is kind of interesting. I was thinking that a play on Connecticut one way or another might be warranted here. They're just a deep team. They have a good mojo going on, and they can run away from a team like Washington at any point in time. So I'm thinking about maybe taking Connecticut one way or another, maybe on the first half. But as of right now, I'm not going to give any official plays in WNBA. Again, if I had to make a play right now, I'd probably take a shot with a Liberty team total under 87. And in the Connecticut-Washington game, definitely thinking about a shot with Connecticut minus the points, even though they are a big favorite. But that's just how I'm thinking right now. I haven't bet either of these games. I might not. And if I do give any picks, it's going to be in the evening show. So watch for that at 6 o'clock Eastern time. That's the evening show where we will do all this stuff again. Jimmy the Bag, any final words you'd like to leave our viewers with?
I just love you guys. Man, what a great group. When the guy who was asking about how we don't come in angry. First off, the turnaround happened when I was just focusing on the chat. Although I'm so thankful to have Pete back. Don't get me wrong, but God, it's just fun. I can't wait to hammer these afternoon games. It looks like I'm about to be down a unit to start the day off, but we got lots of good still to go. And then don't forget, Team Bankroll joins us on the afternoon show, and can't wait to work with them. So starting, this is our last show without World Cup being a segment, and we're gonna hammer this. And I heard you were great last World Cup 4 years ago.
Oh yeah, I was, but I'm not sure if I'm going to have the time to handicap it this year. But yeah, I definitely had it. I mean, it was just sort of standard, a big public, overvalued favorite is a good fade, and then a team that's a little bit under the radar that has a good team chemistry is a team that has betting value. So I was betting on Germany, I was betting against Brazil, and that turned out to be the right thing. Those turned out to be the right things to do last year for sure.
I'm almost done. I've almost done all my every single team breakdown. So I'm very excited to be working with you and with the crew here. And I know a perfect way to shut this show down. My man Isaiah, you see his comment?
No, what's that? What's that?
Man, Isaiah, shit. Give him some love.
Oh, man. Shit. Isaiah says, Pete, Jim, today's my 21st birthday, and I'm currently eating a rack of ribs, a whole rack, and a cold one while watching the best show of the day. Let's get this money. Pow! Happy 21st birthday, Isaiah. Welcome to adulthood. Now you got to vote. You know what's the voting age? What's the voting age?
Vote. No, 18. I don't know.
What's the voting age?
18 in
Canada. Yeah.
What is in America?
You got to vote. You got to vote. Because if you don't vote, someone else is going to vote, and then they're going to make your voting decision for you, or something like that.
I don't know about that stuff, but we love you, Isaiah. Yes. Enjoy that rack of ribs. Drink up, and thanks for being a part of the Low Bag fam, my man.
We'll see you at 6 o'clock Eastern time.